for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Wasco wishes to inform the public of a planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as we work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on our website and social media platforms.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Tuesday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 21st day of the month of October, 2025. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host, alongside my co-host who has returned and is with us once again, Terry Fenelon. Good afternoon to you and welcome back.
Good afternoon.
As well as our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. I hope you're having a good day so far. I know Jaquan has had a lot of fun this morning, trying to bataille with the quail as best as he could. Well, it's something. The more you immersed in it, the better you get at it. I'm not as immersed in it as I used to be. Back in the day. So a few things a little hazy, a little nebulous in the memory. in terms of recall, but I'm sure if I get back into the emotion, especially at the family and community level, you speak it a lot, you interact a lot with it, it becomes your first choice for communication, then you become proficient at it. People, I want to make a direct plea from very early on to everyone who know him, who are his friends, who are supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, the governing party. And I wouldn't say not because he's my friend. My motivation for doing so, his influence is driven, is spurred on, accentuated by him being my friend. But Laborites, I want to make a special appeal to you to have Ernest Hilles back at every turn. Rise up and defend him. Rise up and respond to those unjust, vicious, savage, iniquitous, evil attacks against him that are purely personal, that are not based on anything that has to do with his performance, with him being in public office. They are driven by personal hatred and malice and a desire to destroy him. Laborites, I'm calling on you and of all right-thinking St. Lucians to rise up and make a special point of having Dr. Ernest Hilles back. Not because he's doctor, not because he's deputy prime minister, but nobody can be after a man like that to persecute him. And stop feeling that it's okay because he's wealthy, because he have position, because he have doctorate and so on. So what the hell, who cares? He shouldn't care and so on. We should care about those things. If anyone can do to Ernest Hilles what we all know who has been attempting against him for more than 20 years, maybe 25 years. I observed it since the days of Cricket World Cup 2007. This relentless going after Ernest Hilles is not really because of Ernest Hilles. It is the mindset that it reveals. You ought to have heard me reference a lot the sociopathic personality. People whose hatred and anger grows rather than diminishes with time. Watch those kind of people. You annoyed with somebody. You get upset with them for whatever reason it is. You vent. You maybe say a lot of things, do a lot of things, but over time, that thing fades from your memory. It fades from your consciousness. You're not as angry as you were. Anybody you see who has a beef with somebody and it grows with time, it increases with time, it worsens with time, it expands with time, watch that person. That is a dangerous sociopathic personality. And you see the sociopath? They are focused strictly on their objectives. And for that, we can be partially thankful. Because the fact that they are so tunnel visioned in their obsession, in their hatred, they mess up at some point. They don't always get it right. They fail to have all their I's dotted and all their T's crossed. So they bungle and they fumble and they become slipshod. They even expose themselves and allow you to see what is happening. I have another person who I'm not going to mention, who I haven't made the conclusion yet, is a sociopathic personality. Over a very small matter, they get vexed with you. And it's not any kind of vex, It's a vexedness that increases with the passage of time. They expand it. They're not satisfied to just hit at you by land. They have to attack you by land, sea, and air, and then from space again. They have to go bad-mouthing you to everybody. And if I don't get you on this, I'm getting you on that. I'm never stopping. And so whether it is on Range Rover, whether it is on the customs case, whether it is on the CIP, whether it is as it was on Cricket World Cup, whatever it is, whether it was on matters of anything having to do with investments such as GPH and so on, you have to go and try to discredit that person. If you got a chance to kill the person, you're not killing them because you want them to stay alive so that you can torment them, so that you can torture them, so that you can ruin their reputation, because there's a lot more perverse gratification from seeing the person squirm, seeing the person travail, seeing the person really in torment because of what you are doing to them. This is a dangerous person. Rise up, I tell you, and have Ernest Hiles back. Forget about whatever little mannerisms of him maybe you don't like, because, we always find something, on somebody. Look at the bigger picture of this assault, this ongoing assault, which is nothing short of persecution. I ain't anything about that's persecuting a man that's going on against Ernest Hiles, including that so-called assault case, which I understand has been escalated to a formal accusation or whatever charge that he has to go to court for. I think all of us have a reasonably good idea. I'm not saying a totally perfect idea, a reasonably good idea of who is behind this. And let me tell you something too. Supporters of the ruling party, be very careful. Be very, very careful. And that's why I have a little paranoid nature to me, knowing that you'd expect I'm a guy, I'm on TV and I'm on radio and I get a lot of big up congratulatory messages on people. Why is it that I'm a guy, I always seem like I'm avoiding people? I always seem like I'm trying to sidestep people. I always seem like I'm trying. You would expect that a guy like me would be eager, to project and to wallow and to bathe in celebrity, limelight and so on. And when people meet you, hey, Shelton Daniel, I listen to your program. I do it out of politeness. I do it out of courtesy. I do it out of appreciation. I stay, I chat a couple seconds, whatever. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support. And I try to move from there. Because sometimes people don't know when they give me a shout out in a crowded, busy place. What they're doing there is pointing me out to other people who maybe don't know. I have nothing to hide, really. But I know how it is in our country that once you see somebody who have some kind of name, some kind of fame, some kind of so-called celebrity, there are people who are targeting you for no other reason but that, because in their mind they have a certain prejudiced notion of you, that you might be somebody who kakweo, the kind of thing, that you might be somebody who fresh, yeah, you might be somebody who think is it. Anybody who knows me knows I am anything but. And so sometimes I walk in the aisles of a supermarket as one example, and before I step at the end of that aisle, I poke my head to see who's coming around, because sometimes there are people, I almost get the feeling that they're following me, that they're stalking me, that they're trying to set up a situation where, as we would say, you bloche on them. So you notice them watching you, and I'm always alert to that, who seems to be watching me quite a lot. Some people come up and they say hello, hi, and it's okay. But others, it's like they're trying to set up a situation where you will bump into them, where you'll collide with them. And I always tell myself, to what purpose? Is it that you want to start some kind of little confrontation with me, some kind of little quarrel about how I run into you, or maybe that is your way of sparking a conversation? I watch out for those things a lot, so that I don't bloche and bump into people or their children, and the next thing, yo te ha besoin, yo te ha pou yo ka commencer, on roro, on l'idée. You might tell me I'm looking at things too close, but I watch it. Once you see you are a public figure, a media personality, as many people as you have who like you, who are supportive, who are looking to give you a big up, there might be as many people trying to see if they will set you up. I do not know this Eldris Charles lady. Maybe I have seen her. But I asked somebody yesterday, I want you to please point out that lady to me so that I can see her and recognize her, to make sure if I'm walking anywhere, on any sidewalk, anything whatsoever, that I do everything I can to avoid bloching on that woman, to avoid bumping into her, to avoid next thing it was that I passed her and I deliberately elbow her and I did something to her, whatever it was. And not she, many others. Once you see, I notice you seem to have that sneaky look about you that might suggest you're a vicious person. I do my best. And I believe maybe Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre and others would have spoken to their cabinet colleagues and others to begin to be doubly and triply careful with people. Be very, very careful with people, including who you give right to, including who you interact with, including who you give a friendly pat on the back. We talk to people and you might do that. And the next thing the person go and say how their shoulder has a problem because you hit them so hard on the shoulder and you assaulted them. And be very, 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 very careful. And it's not just women, men too. Anytime I don't need a trolley, I use, how you call it, the basket that you can carry by hand. If the thing's enough, I can carry them without too much difficulty. Because trolley, you can bump. And like I said, there are many incidents where you get the feeling that certain people, you see them watching you, you go into a different aisle. As soon as you reach the end of the aisle, for some reason, they show up right in front of you, like they were timing you and so on. I watch very, very carefully. You have to be careful. And I'm not even a big fry like Ernest Hilaire. You know, sometimes it may not be political. It may just be that the way Shelton Daniel talked, they want to have some kind of... Today I was on the line with a supermarket with a co-worker of mine. And I noticed one particular guy who just came in, who already on the line. I turned the guys behind me. I said, but to me, he could not have gotten anything already. That is already directly on the line. And my co-worker noticed that this chap was just looking and looking and looking at us like he not taking his eyes. I think it may be the co-worker, an attractive female, maybe, you know, that's what had him going. But we checked out. My co-worker made it to the vehicle before to wait for me because I'm the driver. As soon as I make it, the guy's right behind me and his vehicle is parked right next to us. Now, it may just be coincidence, you know. I waited for him to move out because it could be that the very moment I'm moving out, that's when he moves out. And in some script, I let him move out first. But you get the sense that this guy was scoping us out. He was watching. He was taking a good look. Maybe a lot of people have done that. Follow me to see what vehicle I'm driving and so on. I don't feel any sense of danger about it, you know. But when you see you on the radio and on TV, like I am every single day, saying what I am saying with those kinds of consistency, there may be some people who, for not very healthy reasons, to use the words addressed to me by a former controller of customs, whom I have for 40 years, I'm sure, more. It's definitely more than 40 years, considered to be a friend. They're probably trying to find out, are you the same Shelton Daniel? Yes, I'm the same Shelton Daniel, but there are times in life, unipu vehicle. However, talking about Ernest Hilaire, labor rights, people of goodwill, people of right thinking, people of sound judgment, rise up and have Ernest Hilaire's back. He cannot possibly deserve what is being hurled at him. And every one of them have failed. But as soon as one fails, they put in up another, and another, and another, and another, and they will keep going at him. I'm not making this plea for Richard Frederick. Richard Frederick, not only can he take care of himself, so can Ernest Hilaire, you know. But Richard Frederick is a man who don't play. You can say that when they go after him, he gets as good as he gives. Because he ain't going to stay there. Ernest Hilaire is a more measured, is a more genteel, is a more diplomatic person, as indeed you would expect of someone who was a diplomat. Ernest Hilaire is probably a man who will not respond to 3/4 of the things that are thrown at him and so on. He'll leave it alone. You know, unlike Richard, you mess with him, you can be sure. Thursday, you're getting it, you know. And sometimes before Thursday, rise up and have Dr. Hilaire's back. He deserves it. He does not deserve the kind of vindictiveness that is being thrown at him so relentlessly by an obviously quite malicious sociopath and those who support him. Terry.
My brother, very cogent advice. It reminds me of my days as a young teacher when Mr. MacArthur Fowell cautioned us as male teachers. Watch what you do. Don't put yourself in any compromising position, because you know we had young girls giving lessons, and he always gave us that advice. That's the advice I took with me throughout my career, you know. And my staff would tell you that, especially the men, I would caution them. That's your vehicle, yes, that's your right, but be very careful. You don't put female students in your vehicle, because once they accuse you, even if you never did what they accuse you of, the fact that they can be placed there, yes, you're in trouble, my brother.
Yes.
Your reputation is down the drain. And I have carried that advice throughout my life. And even now, Shelton, even more so now, especially what has transpired there with Shelton. It's unfortunate. Sometimes I go down the road, I see people in need of a ride. It's not that, you know, no. You have to protect yourself. You know, you cannot take things for granted now. And you could see the desperation in these people. They are desperate. You know, they are conniving, they are plotting. And you're right. If you just let your guard down, crapu, smoke your pipe. So imagine somebody accusing you, Shelton, now. Maybe a 12-year-old girl.
Yes.
Right?
The question will simply be,
is it true? You know? And once you see that has happened, Shelton, you're in trouble. Now, my staff will tell you there's the door to the office was never closed for a year, until from the time until I retired. And I told them the reason why. I will not really say it here, Shelton, but there's a reason why the door was never, ever, ever closed. Because sometimes as a man, sometimes you have a reputation, whether it is earned or not. Some people just, and you could be in trouble for the slightest thing. Your career, your bread could be on the line for little accusations that may not be true. And it's really difficult to defend against certain allegations. So the politicians now, especially our boys, be careful. Do not find yourself, do not touch. You have to be, yes, friendly people, but there are agents everywhere trying to bring you down. They cannot get us on policy. We understand that. Cannot get us on policy. Cannot get us on the initiatives that we have. But they're trying to get us on everything. I understood some people went and photographed a house of some doctor or something, put that on the internet and saying that is Bibi. So they're after Bibi now. Well, not now, they're after him too.
Yeah.
You understand? Trying to make it seem as though he has stolen some money and he's a millionaire. Some even what he said, he had a boat, etc. I mean, these people will go to any length. They stop at nothing and they don't care, Shelton. You'll find them out and stuff. No, they will continue with their lies, their propaganda, their institution, and they do not stop. There's no stopping them. Just one after the other.
The viciousness grows,
man. Yes. But fellas, keep your head up. And I want to say, we have to have the back. I remember you saying once we did not have the back of Kenny Anthony when he was under pressure. For some reason, we did not push back, we did not fight back, and we allowed him to take a lot of blows. We cannot allow that. We have to push back, and we will push back. You understand? They will not get away with it. So, Odes, we have your back, brother. We're going to continue to have your back. We're going to continue to be there. Not just you, Baby, and the others. They cannot. They don't attack the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, because even Martinez, a fraudster, a criminal. You heard what he said.
Yes.
You cannot bribe the Prime Minister. You understand? This man is above that. So they know. Alpha, they don't attack Alpha on anything. You understand? But they figure they can have Bibi, because what? Bibi says, yes, Frederick is idle. Frederick is an investor, and he wants to invest.
Yes.
He worked. He has money. He's investing. What's wrong with that? He has a salary. The credit union, the banks will give him loans. But we want to hang it and make him look like he's a thief, etc. Some crazy woman talking about he bought crown. I mean, it's ridiculous. But the latest one, they went taking the house of a doctor, I understood it's how, newly built, and splashing that and saying that is babies, trying to fool the people, etc. But that won't work. We are there, Baby, Ernest, etc. And as you said, Richard Frederick can handle himself. Richard Frederick, he gets and he gives. He doesn't hold back. And that's one of the things I like. You have to answer these people right away. Because when you allow things to fester, people believe that it is the truth. So, very wise advice, my brother. And
okay, so what we'll do now, I think we have a video clip of Ernest Hilaire talking about what he has had to go through in this case with that Range Rover and all. Let's hear him say it. We probably have heard it before, but let's play it.
Yes.
In many ways, it really brings an end to, a number of years, almost 8 years, 9 years of relentless persecution. And, many St. Lucians would probably be of the opinion that I stole a vehicle, I did not pay taxes on the vehicle, I did not submit the right documents. The UWP has gone all out to destroy my reputation, to spoil my reputation. And it's all on the basis of a vehicle I bought with my money, and I did not break any rules or laws. But they had to create that narrative, and not just once, but they've tried to do it in many instances. And I'm saying here to you, it will not end. It will not end. It will end when Alan Chasney loses the Miku seat and the Labour Party is returned to government. And even then, I think his obsession will continue. But I want, before we even talk about the judgment, let's just go over how this started and what happened. Soon after the election was lost by the Labour Party in 2016, Of course, Alan continued this personal vendetta. The first accusation was that I had stolen a vehicle from the High Commission in England, and a memo was actually prepared for an investigation into a missing government asset. And I can recall the memo from the then Director of Finance saying they had no record of ever having purchased such a vehicle or ever having disposed of such a vehicle. But she still asked that there be an investigation, because that was what the instruction was, that I had stolen a vehicle. And of course, once I provided evidence that I had paid for the vehicle and showed my bank statements where the money came from my bank account to pay for the vehicle, the narrative changed. So it was that I had not paid my taxes in the UK. But of course, once it was pointed out that I was a diplomat, I enjoy diplomatic status, and I don't pay taxes, on purchases of that nature, I would not have to pay it, then the narrative changed again. I now became, I did not pay my taxes in St. Lucia. Again, I had to explain to them, I'm a returning diplomat, I don't pay taxes. And then they pointed out that you had not paid the VAT, and the exemption for returning diplomats at that time did not cover VAT. And then I pointed out to them, well, it's not my responsibility to pay the VAT. It's the state's responsibility to pay the VAT, because I'm a returning diplomat. And then we discovered documents where the Ministry of Foreign Affairs actually tried to pay the VAT when they realized that the VAT had in fact not been paid. But then the government then stopped it from being paid, so they can say, I had not paid it. But it was explained again, it's not my responsibility. I am a returning diplomat. And they attempted to get controllers of customs to seize the vehicle. The first controller said there was no basis for that. He was removed. A second controller was put in, a female controller. She too said there's no basis for that. She was removed. And a third person was put in. And that person was not even appointed as controller. I think that person was acting controller. I'm told the person may not have even been qualified to be controller, but was acting controller. And I read a report from the individual virtually saying, I can do it, I can get it done. Of course, that person is now a candidate for the United Workers' Party. And so just think about that. How do you have been engaged in all those activities and end up being a candidate together with Alan Chasney, but still deny that you had any political intentions when you did what you did? But that person seemed to have, and so from my reading of the document, seemed to have suggested that they can get the job done, they can get it done, and was made acting controller. And what the person then claims is that I did not submit the right documents. My lawyers wrote and said, look, can you cease and desist and stop harassing Ernest Hilaire, because he has provided you with all the documents you need. But he insisted he does not have the documents and proceeded to charge me and also to seize the vehicle. The vehicle was seized for 1 year because he claimed I did not give the right documents. What I did then was to bring a suit against Chico and bring a suit against the Attorney General, because this is clearly wrong. I know I have provided you with all the documents. I know that. And yet you're going to charge me. So, of course, I brought a suit against him. And there was actually, the court sent it to mediation. And at that mediation, his lawyer was able to persuade for the matter to be settled, and he would have had to apologize. And I can make available copies of the order of the court and the wording of his apology. The wording of his apology to me in exchange for me dropping the case against him. Now, like I told him during that matter, I can go after you and make you pay. But I have no such intention. I have no such intention. In any case, I told him then that he was just a pawn of Alan Chasney. They were just using him to get to me, and I'm not going to go after him to make him pay. Of course, if I knew then that he was going to end up being a candidate of the United Workers' Party, my disposition might have been a little different. But he did offer an apology. But just to show you the character of the individual, the apology was read by his lawyer, recorded, videotaped, whatnot. The court document, which I can share with you, does not recognize who read the apology. It says an apology from him. He then argues afterward that he never apologized. is his lawyer that apologized for him. Now, I don't know how you can differentiate between your lawyer apologizing for you and it's not you that apologized, so it's somebody else that apologized for you. But he did apologize. And
the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Wasco wishes to inform the public of a planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as we work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on our website and social media platforms.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
you so much, everyone, for staying with The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters on the radio station Real FM 91.3 megahertz for the north and 91.5 for the south. We're also simulcasting on NBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and on YouTube live streaming as well. Just before the break, we were playing a statement that was given at Monday's pre-cabinet briefing by Deputy Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire. Let's continue with the remainder of that piece.
Order is there. And in exchange for that, I dropped the charges against him. I mean, that tells you how I felt. Despite all what he did to me, despite charging me wrongfully, despite seizing my vehicle for 1 year, I decided, bro, I'm not coming after you. This is not even about you. You know, this is about Alan Chastney coming after me. My matter in relation to his charging me also went to court, and the magistrate also said, go to mediation. The magistrate just said, why is this matter even before the courts? Go and solve that in mediation, because as far as the magistrate is concerned, what's this all about? So we went to mediation. During mediation, of course, elections were called, and the Labour Party won. Of course, he was an acting controller. His contract, his acting period ended, and of course, he was not renewed. And like I said, remember I said at the start, he did not even qualify. Because if you think about it, if he was qualified to be controller, they would have appointed him controller. But he was never appointed controller because he wasn't even qualified for the post. And then a new controller was put in place. At our first mediation after elections, the new controller said to mediation, look, I can't continue this case. I saw it before I became controller. I advised then that there was no basis for it. Now I'm controller. I cannot proceed in this case. And of course, he agreed to drop the matter. We went to court, reported the mediation exercise to the magistrate, who of course dismissed the case. Alan Chastney then decides he's going to bring a case in court saying that the controller did not have the capacity to drop the charges against me. And he wanted a judicial review of it. He lost in the High Court. He went to the appeal court. He lost in the appeal court. He then goes to the CCJ to try to win his case, thinking that he wants it reinstated. Now remember all what I told you, that from the day one, my lawyers wrote to them and said, but the document you're asking for is already in your possession. I mean, my lawyers wrote then. The new controller said, but the document, I have to drop the case because the document you're asking him for, we have it. But in Chico's mind and Alan Chastney's mind, no. The document, they want it to be in a particular form, a particular way, and that's what they want. But that's their business. I think you saw the CCJ judgment and what the judges fought of Alan Chastney and his case. And in many ways, it really tells you of the character of the person. I mean, when a High Court, an appeals court, and a CCJ can, in every instance, point to the illogicality of what you're doing, the nonsensical nature of what you're doing, wasting the court's time. But for him, what's important is that it continues to attack the NSLA. Just keep throwing dirt, keep saying things, because something must stick, or some people will believe what is being said. From day one, I mean, the same Alan Chastney, in an interview on HTS, would accept that, yes, the vehicle belongs to NSLA, he paid for it, but he gave it back to the High Commission as a gift. I don't know if you all have seen that clip. That clip is available, where he actually says, yes, it's his vehicle, he bought it, yeah, we accept that, but he gave it back as a gift, and he took back the gift he gave. I mean, this is how ridiculous this got. But all along, my name has been sullied, been dirtied, and, to destroy, my reputation. But the CCJ really put it in perspective. It was a monumental waste of the court's time. So we're now waiting for the next judgment that will come, where he applied for an injunction to stop the CIP. And that one, the case was heard, July 26, I think it was heard, or around that time, just after Carnival. So we're going to wait for that judgment to hear what the courts will say about this one. But you see, again, all of that just tells you, and when you put into context what happened with Martinez and the RICO case, I mean, remember what we went through during the Sirico case thing with Martinez? St. Lucia being placed on the international, landscape, and the leader of the opposition trying his very best to dirty and sully the name of St. Lucia. To join with Martinez, join with him, known for all his past and all the things he's done in the past, and join with him to destroy St. Lucia. I mean, he promised Martinez had given him evidence, and he was going to New York and Washington to collect the evidence, and he was going to bring it back. And at the end of the day, Martinez himself realized he didn't have a basis for what he was saying. And then they will claim, diplomatic immunity we claim. Which diplomatic immunity? McLeod doesn't have diplomatic immunity. The only person who was named was McLeod Emmanuel, who does not have any diplomatic immunity. So he have no diplomatic immunity he can claim. But Martinez dropped the case because basically there is no case. Martinez thought he could have filed this case and cause everybody to meet his demands, whatever they were. It didn't happen, so eventually he had to drop the case. But Alan Shastney, Guy Joseph, and UWS joined with him. And we said then, and we still believe, they were prepared to burn down St. Lucia and for him to be the king of the ashes. That if he burn it down, he's now the king, and he'll try to rebuild it. That was his sole intent. To stop the CIP, stop the infrastructure program, because he did not want progress to take place in this country. That all what the government was doing, all the good works of the government had to be stopped at all costs. How could Philippe boast about growth and development and roads and schools and hospitals? How can he boast of those things? And to have more money from the CIP to do more for St. Lucia? He had to stop it in his mind. And he didn't mind destroying St. Lucia to stop it. In this case, with my matter, it was about destroying me. And then by extension, the government and the Labour Party. It was about destroying me. But it will take a lot more than this. He will continue to try. And I can tell all of you here today, I am very sure, that you're already conniving and planning what next to do. Because that's the nature of the beast. You have to continue to go at it until eventually he's stopped.
I don't know how much Ernest Hiller knew when he spoke those words, but they sound prophetic.
That's right.
And with the unfolding of the very next day after he spoke, or the same day, we're hearing about he's been charged for assault in relation to the Eldridge Charles matter and so on. Ernest Hiller knows. He knows what he's up against. And I'd even forgotten about the whole Martinez shameful saga. The using of a foreigner with a criminal record.
Treason.
To try to destroy the CIP. Simply because the CIP, like GPH, falls under the ministerial oversight of Ernest Hiller. So you have to hit at everything and everybody, like I said, to me, knowing what I know about McLeod Emmanuel, it was unconscionable for anybody to have gone after the young man the way those people went after this guy, Who, while I'm not prepared to put man in fire and say he's impeccable, but I know almost everybody who knows this man says he operates in a zone and at a level that is above reproach. He always tries to do that, not to get himself in any crookedness. And if anybody try to pull him into any underhandedness in that CIP thing, this guy is going to resign. Because he's a very employable fella. He's a very, very employable guy, this McLeod Emmanuel. He can do without CIP. The man had a top job in another private sector, very reputable, prestigious company. One thing about him, anytime he has the call to national service, he finds it something that is hard to decline. So, he had a top job. I think it was at Lucilec at one point. Yeah. A call came to manage Radio St. Lucia, which I'm sure many people have told him, don't do that. This is political. The government changes. They'll shut it down, prophetic words. But he left as far as he's concerned. The call to serve a public sector body is closer to his thinking of national service. And so he gets another top job at, I think it was Cable and Wireless. The call to come and serve on the CIP. He leaves his Cable and Wireless job to go there because in his mind, serving a state, this is not a guy who's unemployable, who couldn't cut it, who couldn't make it in the private sector. He makes it in the private sector big and usually for pay levels that are approaching or even better than what he's getting in the public sector. But the national service ethic in the man is so strong that it is. The people went after the guy with absolute viciousness and savagery. You know? So Terry, I just want to ask you, are you surprised that this thing about Eldridge Charles being the one to go and announce, you know? And hear what Eldridge Charles knows from what she says. That there'll be no judgments, you know. There'll be no... Did you hear that part? Where she goes on Newspin and she basically says that she will have a day in court and it will not go through any... In other words, she's sure that this matter will be disposed of in time, or words to that effect. Somebody wrote me about it, sent me a message about it yesterday. You know? If she did say that, then it begs the question.
And now she says she's not an independent journalist.
You know?
She works for Fire
FM, which
owned
is,
by the UWP.
Yeah, which is the UWP's answer to the closure of Sky FM and whatever. And Sky FM seems to be managed by a dude who's more and more displaying that he has a mind of his own.
That's right. But he's in danger. You know? Although I saw he made some rapprochement to the leader of the opposition.
No, of course, yes. That's going to happen all the time. You know?
They can't stand alone. But going back to this case, Labour Party parliamentarians, you're not too nice. You see, when you're nice, so people take advantage of you. Because all you'll do is turn the other cheek. I understand that sometimes you have to do that. But there are times when you have to fight back. Jesus, didn't he overthrow all the people in the temple?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are times when, you know, you're not vexed, but you see holy anger, man. When things, you have to stand up and fight. If Goliath... if David was just going to pray, Goliath would have still been there, you know. But he took the sling. Mm-hmm. He had to fight. Knocked him out. Sometimes you have to fight back. You understand? Mm-hmm. Now, Ernest, where I blame you, you had Chico in the vice grip and you allow him to go. Because when you look at this thing, the judgment, nonsensical, the illogicality of it all, ill-conceived, waste of judicial resources. In other words, that was mischief, political mischief.
You know what this judicial review thing was meant for? Simply because the whole Martinez plot crumbled. So now you needed to do something else in its place. Yeah. So having seen that his proxy, this graceful proxy Martinez failed, Alan Shastney decides I have to do something myself. Yeah. You know, well, you failed even worse than Martinez because Martinez did not have to deal on the sword point of judicial pronouncement that this thing was a waste of time. It was never going anywhere. It's you who have to face this embarrassment. That's right. So it would not surprise me if the strings are being pulled on this Eldridge Charles matter because somebody got egg on their face. That's right. And as we say in the Creole, you
But you see, I don't know anybody's heart, Shelton. Now I have to be careful. So because I heard this fella call you on Friday, I heard he likes to sue.
Who's that?
The guy who called you on Friday. I'm not accusing, but it looks to me like that is malfeasance in public office, rascality, using your office for rascality and political mischief.
Now be careful that you don't make people think that there's a rascality because we have brother Aaron Ras. No. So you don't really believe he's a ras.
No.
He's a rascal.
Yeah, rascal.
Okay.
Because to me, Shelton, there's a letter that says, the leader of at the time, the Prime Minister, is so displeased that the customs have not acted. So, you know what I mean? They were acting on his behalf. Anyway, Shelton, let me share an anecdote with you. So that's why I'm not surprised at this nonsense. People keep saying there were 2 controllers before and one after Chico. Actually, just 3.
Okay.
The controller who released the vehicle, now I can say that, is my brother.
Okay.
He is my brother. And when this thing was how many years ago, I called him. I said, but because his name was called in Parliament, they called the man's name as though the man was involved in corruption. Now, if you know my brother, Barrett used to come down and I used to go to meet as controller. You know what this guy used to tell me? Bro, go and let a broker. But he involved with himself in that.
Exactly.
But the customs sellers know me, so when I come inviting, he's like, hey, boy, feel no. But they know. Yeah. But he would not on his own do anything. So I remember I used to go to Jonge, God bless his soul, he's dead. Jonge used to do the paperwork for me. So I used to go to a broker, pay my money, and go and clear the goods myself, because me would not touch that.
Exactly.
Because they consider go and get the broker for his mother. Exactly. Go and get the because he's keeping his nose clean. Have another partner like that too, Charlie. Them fellas I put in there, you have to do the thing by the book. Okay. I respect that. So I called him. I said, Andy, what's going on there? And he explained to me, returning diplomat, etc. Ministry of Foreign Affairs will take care of that. The month's file is in order, and all they have to do is pay the VAT. Once that is done, the file is closed. That's what early o'clock. He said, this is much ado about nothing. That's a nothing burger. And this fella's made all of this for that, and it ended up, just as he said, nonsensical, illogical, ill-conceived, waste of judicial resources. You understand? Just to try to tarnish somebody's reputation and name. Shelton, this is, to me, that's reeks of malfeasance in public office. You do not use your office again. They were, thank God for the 2 customs officers and controllers who stood up to the Prime Minister says, no, they can't do that. They were transferred. You could call it victimization, but they stood their ground. They had gonads to tell him, no, we cannot engage in that kind of malfeasance. You understand? And the one after, he came, as you said, he saw it, he knew it before, he had to withdraw that. It's only one man going on a frolic of his own to do nonsense, end up with egg on his face, got that hard slap, and trying to call you till you come on this program. Come on this program to do what? Man, that you're not a judge, you're not a lawyer, you're not anything. Not even qualified for
that. No. The man is calling to take me to task. Isn't that, on the basis of what somebody told him. He didn't hear. But he wouldn't tell me what the person told him. Okay? Yes. And whatever the person told him, he would not address it, even though I'm telling him, well, go ahead. Say what you have to say. He simply, are you the same Shelton Daniel? He keeps repeating that over and over. He says not a word to debunk what I allegedly said as reported to him by a third party whose reliability he obviously cannot swear by, and he ends up saying nothing in the end, given the misrepresented that I came to him as if I sought him out. A casual conversation as 2 old friends who ran into each other for a long time and so on. And trying to make it look like something was said about him. The CCJ was not concerned about you as an individual. They were concerned about the Office of Controller of Customs. And obviously, a successor Controller of Customs took a different view of what you had taken care, and with the leave of the court, of the magistrate's court, decided that this matter does not warrant further prosecution.
Because 3 customs officers before you came to the same conclusion that there was nothing there that warranted any further anything. Release the man's vehicle and close the file.
What Mr. Chico does not realize is that by even after the fact, still trying to come and to make a whole hullabaloo about this thing, he's given the impression that he was a hired hitman, that he was made controller of customs deliberately because he was prepared. He had the willingness, he had the acquiescence to go along with hunting down Ernest Hiller, which no other customs controller of that era would want to do. That is what people will conclude. Is that Shelton Daniel saying so?
Yes.
Your behavior before, during, and after the fact is giving the impression that you were deliberately engaged, contracted, not to be appointed, but to act as controller of customs simply because you were the one who had the compliance that was required with the wishes of Mr. Alan Chasney to carry out what was essentially a politically inspired hit on Ernest Hiller. Well, no court has vindicated you, has upheld your actions, has said that Mr. Chico acted properly. The very judgments and the rulings demonstrate that there was a legal and judicial disagreement with what you have said, and ultimately that is what it's showing. So don't come and tell me about whether I'm the same person. The court rulings and the decisions, administrative, judicial, and so on, they tell the same story.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it again. Our boys, you're too nice. You'll have to really say it so much. Hello, time to fight back. You understand? As you correctly said, I'm honest. It's going to get nasty. It doesn't stop. So we just taking blows? No, man. Hello. The gloves must come off. All this nice thing. Yeah, you have all the names and things, but we have to push back. Give us the info. Let us push back for you.
All right. Terry, what do we do now? We have 5 minutes to go before
we can open the line.
Right, because, maybe we can take
let me tell the ponytail man what's going to get. Bradley. I have you lined up.
You like this fella,
Bradley, I have you lined up, but today you'll get a break.
Let me ask you, are Bradley Felix and Stanley Felix, are they related?
I'm not sure. I'll have to find out.
Is the Felix just a coincidence?
Maybe it's a coincidence.
Because up to now, Bernard Haynes don't want to tell me whether Bernard Haynes and Andrew Haynes, also known as Yadi, whether you're related. Now you all are the good Haynes. I don't know if bad Haynes really.
Yes.
But you all are the good Haynes. So, Bernard, I don't know why you're taking so long to tell me whether you and Yadi, you all are related, because you all are two fiery, on fire fellas, pretty much the same way. Anyway.
Yes.
487-9849. That is the number on which you can. And I have to tell on Cornelia, you know.
Yeah.
He sent me a message just, you see, you and I, you know, we're vibing good. Where's the thing there? So this is what it is, huh? You've been avoiding me because she tried a video call, which I didn't notice.
Okay.
Because my phone is on silent.
Yeah, on silent, yes.
But how many seconds the video call lasted?
Yeah.
It lasted for 0 seconds.
Yeah.
He said the call was accidental. But he said, meanwhile, and I'm going to say this one, meanwhile, Terry the Sous is showing off scarf. You know, I have my scarf too, you know. I just decided it's a bit of overkill, you know. I have my red shirt. So let Terry put the scarf on top of his white shirt. We both have the same cap and so on. You know, I know it's our scarf you're jealous of. You this one. Anyway, that might be her reporting. We don't have to go looking for her.
Maybe we coming our way now.
Right. Really shows powered by Blue Waters. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, go ahead, my friend. Go ahead. You're on the air.
You lost a call?
Yeah, we're hearing him and then he's gone. All right, we have another call on the line already. Real issues.
Hello, good day, comrade.
Good day.
Yeah, Shelton.
Yes.
I'm Terry.
Yeah.
They coming after you. They coming after you, comrade.
Which one?
I mean the guy that's our gate.
Who coming after me?
Chico?
No, I'm just saying in your preamble you were saying now, you know, because I'm saying these guys are so disgruntled and disorganized.
No, it's not anybody coming after me more than they have come after me. I'm just saying that we have to be very, very careful now. And you know, the proper word is not paranoid. I said paranoid. We have to be circumspect to the extreme. But go ahead.
Yes. You cannot take anything for granted now, because I recall when these guys make statements, they say when these guys say something on the platform, you have to be very careful what they say, because they say by any means necessary. They say all these words and you see all the time they incite all these things. But they keep on saying it's the other side that promotes violence. But on the platform, they actually encourage the supporters to do stuff, do all these things, and you never hear the one moderating would say, "Oh, let's not go down that way." It's like when you don't say anything, you're actually condoning what the colors say. So you could actually see these guys mean business, and you cannot take anything for granted. So everybody have to be vigilant. We are living in some serious times. So I just wanted to share this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, thank you very much.
All right,
we have someone else on the line.
Bye.
All right. Okay, yes, we have a call on the line. Real issues. Oops,
we lost that.
I think we lost that one. And it looks like the same person who tried to call at first, you know, that we had a bit of a bother with them. We're almost at the point of the commercial break, so I think let's take it, and then when we come back, we'll be taking your calls and messages as we head towards 2:00.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Wasco wishes to inform the public of a planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as we work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on our website and social media platforms.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters on this Tuesday. It is the 21st of October 2025. Don't forget we are in Creole Heritage Month. Mois d'Héritage Creole. Can you all say that, Jaquan? Mois d'Héritage Creole. Of course, it's mois, that's month, but the mois is something that in the French language they call liaison, the phonetic liaison. So, some people say mois héritage, but, we normally put the little D there, mois d'héritage Creole. So, learn the little nuances of your Creole. Of course, you have to learn the basics first, but we have two callers waiting. So let's take the first one. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Bon après-midi, Sheldon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Ça va faire, garçon?
Moi, là, tu bon même.
Au dit, c'est moi, qui est de Creole, so nous avons parlé Creole l'après-midi.
Yeah, moi, apprécie ça, hein.
Sheldon, moi, de gars, écoute, Thierry, bon matin. Il a parlé about...
Il est Thierry Akibo, moi?
Thierry Akibo, là, ouais. Il a parlé about ces différents bails là, les partis à mettre en place pour aider les jeunes mamans in terms of éducation. Bon, moi, c'est yon qui toujours oppose rôle à mon cas dit by about comme ton a fait this, comme ton a fait that, avec différents bails comme. But moi, quand ouais, comme ton plus chin pays à des in terms of level of education, no, because Laura Ligadi, Babad, Grenada, Trinidad, Guyana, tous ces pays ça à une university. sans simplicité ni bay la nous ka créer green gold là. Qui ça comme ton fait là ça? Oui, chez quoi?
Qui bon là?
Comme ton? Il pas aimé faire pièce bas in terms of pour dire well, il can try élever éducation personne cette ici. For the matter of fact, it can change the go mon player in your way. Vous comprenez? Because Compton say il pas une pièce choice, il tient beaucoup away from them because Compton de ka connaît en chaise go mon point là from you. Par là il point bail papier tiers you avec di point bail from you. Voyez sur l'Angleterre. Vous comprenez? Et quand chaise bail ça with the police we chez quoi. Even say hello then resuffix ex by star right now even issued in a problem. Let you even bill a kaidenry. Because Compton say liquidity lawyer say hello. Le quand tu sais moun vini build say unless moun ale tester moun ça. Tout botou à l'autre side, tout fab bon side papa aller pour vivre juste en les highway. C'est moun ça n'a pas tout c'était ça frère.
Okay.
Like as far as moi comprendre Monsieur end up acheter from someone as lawyer yo, bien cheap, and then even by government. That's what that's how you do. I'm pas having as is a bit. Vous comprenez? But I'm gonna do because the really got the nous certainly seeing a problem right now overseas by different côté nous simply because of level education no. Mais si c'est comme ton dream to for something else like with the last prime minister, to really mettre by en place. Kon SLP ka fait à Boisan, bay jeune moun, bay maman, différent bay quoi, pour faire moun éduquer quoi, nous pas de problème frère. And c'est reality, et quand chaque moun souffre en ça.
Oui.
Et bon matin, let's say remove jeune petit ça from Tiwoche Miko, from Diga Miko.
Oui.
Right? It touch me because most of us share jeune book denry.
Doctor.
Qui just touch me right now, ka fume crack différent bay quoi. Et c'est book ça c'est smart l'école.
Oui.
Ou goban? So let nous parler about out of 30 years come to Taylor. Look at it in terms of Labour Party après you venu in 97. Qui fait une différence in terms of education citizenship and you can still pay up to today. And that's the reality of it. Compton have not invested in people's education in St. Lucia. One or two of the little things that he did was not anything like the Labour Party is doing now. If we had what the Labour Party was doing now, Shelton, St. Lucia would provide a lot of bright scholars. But we were left behind. You know? And then that's what I really wanted to share with you this afternoon, man.
Okay, my friend.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. I think we have another caller waiting. Real issues around here.
Mon héritage créole, bonjour.
My heritage Creole.
Shelton, Exery.
Yes.
Quand vous savez, monsieur a commencé en novembre.
Qui mon?
Chasse, garçon.
Actuellement, on était supposé pour loin. Aller la route contre Haïti, garçon.
Non, monsieur, en novembre, garçon. À chaque, massa pour monsieur encore, garçon. Quand vous avez monsieur qui parle about bulletproof vest, police qui a servi même bulletproof vest. Quand the man forgetting he only spent $35,000. Oh, in fact, no. He spent $350,000 in 4 years. In 4 years, he spent 350 grand. In 4 years, Philippe Jepier almost 10 times that. $3.15 million. And now you come in and talk about police have to use each other bulletproof vests.
Let me ask you something. Do you know a Creole word that they call vague? Lemon vague? You never heard that? When somebody vague, when their mind is blank and vacant and so on. How do you describe an Alan Chasney who in 2025 is promising that if he is re-elected, he will reduce VAT to 12.5%? Huh? Because the man has already forgotten that he did reduce VAT to 12.5%, and it is still 12.5%. This government has not reinstated the 15% that was there before. The man is promising. The man is coming up promising again that he's going to lower fuel prices. He's forgetting that the day after he was elected, he said when he come back, he's going to sign something.
Sign a document on his,
to reduce
on his debt.
Anyway, so the
you see, Shelton, I will tell you something. When you see you reach a stage where you fooling your own self, that is equated to to sanity. I want to make a statement there, Shelton. I want to say to Alan Shastney, never again, my brother. You fooled the people of this country in 2016, and it worked. But the people of this country, they figure you out, my papa. It's like a poker game. You cannot bluff we again. Because you show your hands. Your highest card was an 8, and it passed. You make us believe that you are the ace of hearts. Right now, my brother, that can't work again. Our mind is clear. It is made up. People of this country, Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister of this country, take 4 days. Take 4 days without pay. And we want the entire Labour Party machinery in Mikud South. The walls are shaking, children. It's shaking. And we need to ensure that this time we get this guy out. Thank you very much.
Okay, if you know the lady from Choiseul, the Never lady, tell her to give us
I know
a call.
this lady.
Because I don't want her to say anything more, but just make a call and give us a little treatment of never.
Never.
You know, I don't think anybody can say it like her. You know, Mrs. Leandra George Fields.
He kept us again. He kept us.
Even though she's already the ringtone for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, it's a ringtone now.
He kept us. Blessed love.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
buddy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shelton Daniel, Mr. Terence Fenelo, and all the Real Issues family. Have a blessed Tuesday. The mood is red. Maybe that's it. All right, we have another caller waiting. It sounds like the Reverend Deacon.
Good afternoon to you, Shelton.
Good afternoon, my brother and my comrade.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Terry Fenelo.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Shelton, Yadi and I are closely related.
Okay.
Very, very close.
I should have known, you know.
It's the same hints.
All right, great stuff. So I don't have to blood test and DNA test you all anymore.
There is no blood and no DNA test to be done there. But the thing is, je ne peux pas y fâcher consciencely. Il a côtoyé moi, but je ne peux pas y fâcher. I will not be angered by his asking me to be angry. You know, I will be like Dr. Ernest Hiller, who has been a close friend of mine since our day of National Youth Council. I will take the position that he's taken, that says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you. That's the position I'm going to take. And I believe that is what Dr. Hiller, if I know him very well, that's the position he's going to take. And bravo to him. I just want St. Lucians to stand by Dr. Ernest Hiller. Because let me tell you, Shelton, I told you this, I do not follow people as role models in this day and age. But who is Dr. Ernest Hiller? I have said it before and I will always say it. This is my role model. Because when Dr. Hiller saw me I was going off path at the National Youth Council, this man pulled me up. Gave me a lecture when it was about 10:25 p.m. in January. In the valley, we were having a youth camp. And this man set me straight and he said, Bernard, if you want to lead people, be different. Do different. You have a group of young people leading from Soufrière. You need to be an example to these people. Okay? You need to show them that you are worthy of leading them. And that man gave me a lecture. And I can never forget that. That man taught me something good. That man talked to me and he told me, if you do different, different will follow you. And Shelton, that day when I got the call from Dr. Ernest and tell me, Bernard, you'll be getting on a plane to go represent the youth of St. Lucia. Shelton, give him a place.
All right.
Because of that lecture he gave me, I changed my ways. And he called me and he told me, you'll be representing us in the Caribbean Federation of Youth. Shelton, I ain't place mon deal when I got Dr. Hiller.
Okay.
All right.
Because mon connaît li pour moi.
All right. Merci un peu.
Et tout ça c'est plan qu'on fait là. C'est ça yo ka fait qui ka mener yo descendre. Is the wrong that they doing? Is the wrong they want to right? Or the right they want to wrong? Moi même ça comment yo ni là. C'est ça qui a mené au descend. Et c'est ça qui fait yo rester côté hier. Et c'est ça qui fait Alan Chasney félicite en Mikousa. Because this guy took our politics from Constitution Park Komura Marche. He took us from a debating by the House of Parliament and brought it to Deglo. God, I want you to respond to the people of St. Lucia just as you have done in 2021, the same way, but even more to help us remove Alan Chasney from our politics. Pasteur Gavil dit qu'il a prié by Flabo tout seul. Mais il a prié by tout cette mission. Il a prié by Prime Minister. Il a prié by tout ministre. Et là, il a prié that Alan Chasney, quand il sortit en politique, nous, et qu'il a catchilé, et qu'il a become un monde, côté qu'il a ouais, arrogancely, vindication, moi, je vais là, mon côté, il a changé. Il a changé. Et qu'il a prié by Bradley, il a stop menti. Shelton, bonjour, bonsoir, bon après-midi.
Qu'est-ce qu'on va prier by Bradley pour notre la wacher, pour notre la wacher Ringcom la croisé?
Well, moi-même ça, depuis que je suis Ringcom, depuis la c'est moi, well, gros c'est moi, qui a about 15 years. Moi, dernier, ouais, servi à Ringcom. Pour Bradley, servi Ringcom depuis ça. Moi, je ne sais pas qui a l'idée Bradley.
Même si c'est sur les pièces femmes qui voulaient porter Ringcom, là, pas venu Ringcom encore.
Je ne vais pas faire encore.
Bradley a causé un shortage Ringcom en pays. Anyway, merci un peu. Je crois, let's play that.
I'm fair moto kasa to Daniel because access ça bouger moto kasa.
Okay. Merci un peu.
All right.
Let's play that. Let's put on that flyer, the flyer of the community meeting. All right. So Vieux-Fort North is having a community meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, October 22nd, starting 6:30 p.m. at Clovis Lane in Peru. Okay, and it will feature, of course, the MP for Vieux-Fort North. He's also the minister responsible for health, wellness, and elderly affairs, and he has been the MP for Vieux-Fort North continuously since 2006. So next year is going to mark 20 years since he's been there. Vieux-Fort North community meeting, and that will be 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, October 22nd at Clovis Lane in Peru. All right, we have a caller on the line. Real issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, we're hearing you now.
Yes. You hear me clear?
Yes, I'm hearing you clear.
Yeah. I want to say to you that you hear me. What I will say that Mr. King made a statement there. I heard him saying it that the Labour Party has done more than John Compton. Now, a lot of people really misunderstood what he said. From the time Mr. Compton led this country and what he is doing now is a lot more than what Compton did in his time. You know, a lot of people are benefiting from what Mr. Pierre is doing more than what Compton did. Compton did a lot. I had a respect for him. He did a lot. I'm not saying he didn't do. But how Pierre is ruling the country is very different than...
Yeah, but apart from that, we can make this short. Mr. King was referring to how much Pierre has accomplished in that space of time.
Yes.
John Compton could not, and I don't think he himself would claim that he has done and put in place as many things in 4 years as Philip J. Pierre has. I mean, you have difficulty recounting the things this Labour Party government under Philip J. Pierre has done. I don't think King was saying the totality of everything Compton has done, that Pierre has exceeded it. I think he's going to need some more time for that. What he's talking about is in the short space of time, in 4 years, if you are to average it on time, Compton did not, and possibly because of the time he was in, the resources available, the options, there was no CIP, there was no this, that, and so on. He could not possibly, if you are to average it, accomplish what Pierre has in 4 years. I think that's the point King was making. Yeah, but go ahead.
You know, so I just see the point. I respect Mr. King's statement and I endorse it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, why would King diss Compton when he was part of? He was part of Compton's cabinet and so on. Compton took him as a very young man, you know, in 1987, I think, when he won, and made him, you know, a minister and so on. And he's basically never looked back until Alan Chasney. He's the only person that could have forced King to quit the United Workers' Party. We have a call on the line. Real issues.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Wow, Terry, I was calling. Hear that, eh? Is this the way you love me, Terry? Now let Shelton eat his heart out. But Terry, I'm actually quarreling with you because you see that scarf that's around your neck?
Yes.
I don't have one. Now, Mr. Stevenson King made a statement, and I think it is the $2 million man who misunderstood it intentionally. Why would somebody want to take the word of Lodson Gordon over Stevenson King, who Lodson Gordon was fighting with Stevenson King over prime ministership, and he ganged up against Stevenson King to allow a complete stranger, because that's what he is, a complete stranger, to take over our country, give away our lands. And I saw somebody was saying something about the Leclerc lands, that's only 3.5 acres of land, and no investor would be interested in it, and nothing can happen there, and Mr. Pierre this and Mr. Pierre that. So, but he's quite okay with Alan Chasney giving away 1,000 acres of our land, our prime agricultural land in Beaufort, giving it away to a complete stranger, a foreigner. I want to say this as I end. We're moving over to the Rincombe fella, and we go in there on the 2nd of November. When we start to campaign in the Rincombe fella land, if he think he had nothing to worry about, if it was another candidate, then he needs to start worrying now. Because when we take from him the seat, we going to Alan Chasney, we taking from him that seat, and we going to Guy Joseph and we preventing him from ever getting that seat, ever in his lifetime. Goodbye.
Put me back on screen. I wanted to look at the screen. So when you tell me about eating my hat out because, you know, Terry looking so suave and so proper, watch this now. You can eat your heart out because I'll be eating my scarf out, you know? You know what I mean? If you think Terry have anything on me today, just got this artificial. I'll take it shag with show out of it. But for most of just more till I'm more shag going, but those have with your life. All right. Okay. She calling back? Let her call. Let her watch me. Let her watch me scarf.
I don't ordinarily do this. But Shelton, you see whichever doctor I have to go to today, do that thing for
I
you.
just said let us conserve our red. Since I already have, you know, a red beneath my blazer and a red star in my cap. You know, we don't want to overdo the red. But military fee.
Shelton, I don't love Terry. Bye-bye.
All right. I'll give somebody a chance. You had your turn already. You missed your turn already. Now go and let the shagway sink in and bite in there. All right. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We continue taking your calls. I think we can take a couple more if you will send them. There are a few text messages I wanted to read. I haven't really been able to get to them. But anyway, we have someone else on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Yeah, I'm not hearing this one very well. Caller, we're not hearing you very well. I don't know why.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, we're hearing you now. Stop listening to the TV or the radio. It's putting you off.
Hello.
Follow us through the phone. Answer us and talk to us through the phone. All right, we don't have time. The time is winding down on us. Next caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon to you, my dear brothers.
Hey, good afternoon to you. The sleeping serpent.
Wake him not. wake him not, you may get sting. Right, well, my brothers, I'm telling you all, I'm so happy about that program you all are having, not today but every day. I does not call often, but then if I leave home and I go somewhere, when I come back home, I will have my computer on and follow the program right through. I need to say that you all are educating a lot. This program is very educational. It's very fast forwarding and tell you whenever one listen to that program, they will understand what is happening. But by the way, I am in a situation where I need to say to Spider, tell before the election, Spider behind Kenson Kazimi about his property and thing. Behind the MU, where the university, opposite Tomti, Musamlome no Tomti. That road, anybody can follow that road. Spider have some interest in that land there. I don't know if it is, because I said to myself, I'll take it upon myself to go to the land registry and find out who this land is registered on, because Spider there, baby. Baby was supposed to find here. Just before the election, that road was paved right through with concrete. I had a girl at my house who was living with me. The child knew nothing about construction. But because she was friendly to baby secretary, she had a job, $800. $800. She had a job and she never left the house and she drew. Right? She drew. I want baby to tell us, did he really get the chance? Not baby, sorry, excuse me. I want Spider to tell us, did he really buy the house by the beach?
Okay, all right.
He was trying to. Anyway, the time is up. We'll talk again.
All right. Thanks a lot. We get a point. You know what I want to do, Jaquan? This short clip that we have from the Ministry of Equity, less than 2 minutes. Let's try to get it in before we go, because I should have played it since yesterday, but the time just wasn't available. It's a short clip sent to us by the Ministry of Equity, so I think it's self-explanatory.
When a hurricane is forecast, every minute counts. In St. Lucia, government and partners tested a new approach, acting early before the storm strikes. Anticipatory action means families get support in advance. Using forecast and social protection systems, St. Lucia delivered cash directly to people's bank accounts and supermarket vouchers to households in need. With this support, families could buy food, water, and essentials before the storm. For the simulation, 500 vulnerable households were pre-identified. When the forecast trigger was reached, funds were transferred through the banking system and vouchers prepared with Massey stores. Geographical teams called families, verified details, and distributed vouchers where needed. Text messages guided people through the process.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Tuesday, 21st October 2025 were Double Daily Grand 14916, Big 4 0518, Big 4 Multi-X 2X, Pick 2 3 4, Pick 2 Multi-X FP, 1 off 197, Lucky 3 587, Lucky 3 Multi-X 2X.
The exercise tested St. Lucia's payment systems, voucher delivery, and communication channels. It showed that by working together, early action is possible, and it makes families stronger in the face of future storms. Anticipatory action, protecting lives and livelihoods before disaster strikes. Together, we are building a safer, stronger St. Lucia.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff.